So I'm Aya Brubere. I am head of the Career Center at RISEBA. And this year we have decided to create this format of Career of the Future and look into the trends in different industries. Thus, we invite industry experts to join us and to introduce us to the trends, introduce us to the ideas, introduce us to things happening. So today we are talking about technologies. And I would actually love our speakers to introduce themselves because there is so much to say, I couldn't possibly do it myself. So maybe let's start with Janis. How about that?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Janis Palkavnieks from Draugiem Group, and Draugiem Group is an umbrella for 11 different companies, including Draugiem.lv, which is the local social network to Printful or Wendon or Mapon, and in total we have around 2,000 employees. And I'm working for Draugiem for 10 years, and 10 years we were just 2 or 3 companies. Now we have 11, and we are creating new companies day by day. So, and I'm currently a spokesperson of Draugiem Group, and I know something a little bit about technology and the topic of our today's conversation.
Thank you. Zeev, how about you telling us about yourself a little?
Yes, hello. So I'm working in the field of investments. I'm representing here my advertisement company Algortmx, who is working in the field of programmatic advertisement. And in parallel, I'm also representing the company Venture Faculty, where I am the co-founder, and we are focusing on investment in new technologies. And today I will be representing what is the new trends and the future trends in advertisements.
Thank you so much. So
but I'll take over. Hi everyone, my name is Mauris. I'm a serial entrepreneur for 20 years in technology field. So I'm started technological companies, investing in technology companies, and basically selling them. My biggest expertise in probably product market fit, everything related to startups and fundraising and product and team management.
Thank you. And Zane, please tell us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. I am Zane Segruma, and I am from Accenture branch in Latvia. So we are the biggest IT services exporter in Latvia and one of the biggest in the world. So we are basically working with all of the potential and ideas in the technology and technologies that are existent. Myself, I also work in IT field for 20 years. I have been in different projects, different roles. So consider myself also comfortable in knowing about what is IT and where it's going.
Thank you so much, Zane. And now I have a question to all of you. One of the trends in the IT that everybody sort of knows about, that it exists and is kind of worried about in many ways, is artificial intelligence. So I can ask you, in your company, in your worldview, what is artificial intelligence doing for our future? Zane, let's start with you.
Yes, so artificial intelligence is indeed very much booming right now, right? So, but that's not something completely new. We have talked about artificial intelligence topics already for the decades, but then that was more in the theory, and not so many companies use that. But now at this stage, we are in the place where it is used already heavily. It is used heavily by enterprises, and it is used heavily also in the startup area. So there is startups are basically mushrooming in the AI field. But to be a little bit more specific is that when we talk about artificial intelligence, we very often imagine like some super machines that is able to replicate whatever people are doing and being like outsmarting people, what we see in many movies. what we in practice work in with all of the different IT areas is a little bit different, and there is many IE areas. So there is machine learning, there is computer vision, there is robotics, there is machine learning I mentioned, so data analytics. So there is a lot of different fields of artificial intelligence that we are looking at, and yes, all of these areas are basically developing. So there is already basic algorithms in place and used. For example, chatbots. So some 5 or 7 years ago, it was like wow effect if some of the company had like chatbot to whom you can ask questions. But now it's already used by a majority, and I think that for us as a users, it really gives quite a lot of benefit. So if I needed to get some answer from institution previously over the phone or over the email, and then there was a quiz and I needed to wait for answer for 1 day, then chatbot basically solves these problems for us, and we are able to quicker interact. So I think that's good. And the same chatbot, so they are right now advancing already on the next level. So it's already people recognition, voice recognition, video recognition is going to become more advanced. What I think is the most important is for us to just be aware that this change is happening. It's not going to go away. It's going to develop more and more. All of these algorithms are very data dependent, and then as they are used more, there is more data, they are more learning, and there is more opportunities for usage. And I think that for us the most important is, yes, to acknowledge that this is happening, it's not going away, and we shouldn't be scared of that, but we should be smart and understand how we use that for our benefit to make our lives better, smarter, more relevant, and yeah, and then we benefit from it.
Thank you. I want to ask Zeev about advertising, about how in your field, how is the AI functioning there and helping you?
Yes, so in the field of advertisement, so AI is, of course, it's more for our benefit than for the customer benefit. Due to the fact that the AI machines, AI learning is helping us now to go over the mass data that companies are gathering about their customers, starting from when they buy, where they buy, how much they buy, for what they buy, and all this information is, of course, being screened with robots, with machines, with AI, basically, and then we can provide this information for the advertisers, and they can already pinpoint and sell the product for the clients more directly, basically making more cost efficient and more precise sale was target. Again, it's not perfect yet. It's the human mind is still can be against advertisements, against the banners, against everything. So it's still there. We are using it, and it will be continue to be developed in our field as well. Okay.
See, Jean, how about you? How do you see the AI working?
I think that I'm being optimistic, and I'm being, always thinking on a scale. And if we talk about artificial intelligence, we should realize 2 things. The first one, it's already here. So it's not the technologies that will happen at someday. It's here. It's here to stay. And the thing is, if we look at hockey stick of adoption of any technology, or basically how technology scales, we are somewhere in the beginning of hockey stick. And the technology will evolve itself. The machine learning, everything Zane mentioned, it will evolve rapidly in the coming years. And we have no clue how. We have no clue. We can't actually understand how it will affect our lives. So the second part of the story, I think, is how we as human beings perceive the technology itself. And I think that there is a huge gap between the technology itself, the artificial intelligence, and ethical part of artificial intelligence. That's what the Social Dilemma movie was about, basically. So if we use this technology to do good or to do bad, and I think this ethical layer is missing almost everywhere. if we talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, whatever there, we are trying to push it somehow with GDPR, other basically regulations that data can be used as freely as it probably could be used 10 years ago, but the problem is still there. I think is facing the ethical problem of artificial intelligence will be the biggest challenge in the next couple of years.
Yes, thank you. I was also going to bring up the social dilemma, so you brought it up as well. Good, thank you for that perspective. And then Janis, comment on that in this case on the AI, and also, well, you have a Latvian social network. So how do you feel about the problems raised in the social dilemma documentary and all this happening, the manipulation of attention, echo chambers? How do you see that happening?
So from my point of view, artificial intelligence is just a fancy name for things that we already having for a long time. So it's I would call it automatization, not artificial intelligence, because I'm not a programmer, but I asked the programmer, is it possible that there is like human, like artificial intelligence who can act like a human? And he said, no, you can only give tasks what machine can do. Machine can't think by itself, and etc. Yes, and we use a lot of it. An example for a printful, we're using this artificial intelligence to recognize the copyright, what you want to print on your products belongs to you. Is there any copyrighted materials? We calculating which postal delivery system is better for our clients, and etc. So we using it a lot. And for a social network, for Draugiem group, for Draugiem.lv, it's a quite small network now. We have only 300,000 active users, but at the same time, it's quite a big for Latvia, because this is mainly Latvian-speaking social network. And do we have the same problems on our network what we saw on that movie? Yes, a little bit, but as I said, we are quite small, and we're using a lot of machines that are catching the phrases and specific words and etc. But mainly we can keep clean our social network only because of people who can deeply read and understand what is written on those posts, and then decided is those posts okay, or we should delete it, or we should even ban users from using our network on not very good purposes. So yes, I agree that machine learning is good, and a lot of people are saying that in the future it will take away our jobs. I don't think so, because if you have a job to put this number in that column, then yes. Or if you have a job to drive from point A to point B, then yes. But if we are doing things that need to take decisions, to make decisions, and to think, then I can't see that in the near future artificial intelligence bots or I don't know, computers are going to have the same discussion as we have now. I don't think so.
Thank you. I will ask Zeev to also comment on how do you feel about the social dilemma, about this kind of worry that people have, and how do you see that? And because you are on the evil side of the advertisers, right? So.
Yeah, so basically about the movie or the social dilemma that people have. So advertisement was always, and it always will be, and the main thing is when you want to sell something, you just go to the market. So if it was a physical market, today it's an online market. So as I told also to Aya during our conversation early this week, so basically, if you don't want to be exposed to the social dilemma, or you don't want to be exposed to advertisement, just stop using the apps, and just that's it. Like, and this is your biggest protection you can have against against advertisement, again, taking your attention span from using the phone and etc. You can always return to a Nokia and have a phone at the end of the day and use the computer for emails for the digital world. Again, but on the other side, of course, the communication part, as Janis said already, Draugiem group is still exists and still is strong, and and that's what brings us as people to be social. And advertisers during this communication use this, of course, for their advantage, and they're targeted and they target the client. Yes, GDPR, for example, also came around, but in the beginning we struggled because they closed a lot of channels. But at the end of the day, basically GDPR brought some structure in the advertising world, and basically it's allowed us to target, again, all the time I'm targeting, but to target the right person at the end of the day, who agrees to see the advertisement at the end, in their emails, in their spams, in their Facebook, Google, etc.
Thank you. Zane, well, how do you feel about the social dilemma and all these concerns that people legitimately have? Is it all bad, or are there some hope in the future that we will not be completely manipulated?
Well, and this is the very good comment that you brought, because from where in this movie there wasn't big surprises for me. I've known how the industry works and how the ads and all of that content comes up, but that wasn't only about ads, right? So advertisement market, as Zeev already commented, existed always, right? Right. So some 5 years ago, I got a lot of flyers in my post box. Today I don't have flyers in my post box, but I see a lot of videos and ads on when I switch on YouTube. So that's nothing really new. The form is new, and maybe this form is more persistent. Yes, that's sometimes a little bit annoying, I have to say. But what I really and what I thought before, but even more stronger feel right now, is that we shouldn't look neither on artificial intelligence or ads or social networks as something that is taking hope from us, right? Because what the movie show is that what the algorithms are analyzing is your activity. That means that with your activity you can influence what you get in your feeds, what kind of information you get. And for example, and that's not only about ads, it's also about what kind of news you read, or what you like, what you dislike. So that's about all of the activity. And we just, and based on that theory, we just need to say that we can say that what social networks is bringing us is like reflection of ourselves. And if we want to change it, we need to change our own activities, because we are really in the driver's seat, not the passenger seat. So that's how I see it. And I've disliked, unfollowed many of my, if we talk about Facebook, about many of my friends who share things which I believe is rubbish. And if there's ads that really annoys me, I report them as a spam. And with that I take the action. So when I go there, and I do go there, I think that we cannot. That's correct. We can move to the woods and leave and connect to our friends only on the face-to-face meeting. That's possible, and many people are doing that. But if we still want to live in like future-looking environment, we cannot avoid it. That's a way of sharing information. That's a way of socializing, and therefore I think the most important is to understand what's happening and what to do with that. What troubled me, however, is that at the very end, where we saw how this data is used for the wrong behavior, so targeting people who are like easily to react to kind of these theories that there is something bad happening, and there is a lot of maybe social unrest. So that is really disturbing. So why we as a society are so easily movable around. But I hope that's going to change. But I'm not. I don't think that really existing players in the field is going to change it. So that's more on the social side. I hope that there is some more awareness of actions and behaviors there that's going to help.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna ask you all, well, not in a, this question could be answered in an extremely long way because, I want to ask you, what do you see are the technological trends apart from AI? What are the technological trends that are happening in the world, in our world, in the world of technologies that are shaping our future in some way? So maybe Janis, can I start with you about the future?
Yeah, from my point of view, the most important thing is self-driving cars, but I mean like in a very different ways, not just Tesla, but I mean also our trams in the cities or our trains. So self-driving transport, I think it's very, very important and developing very fast. I can't, like, I was first in my life driving Tesla with autopilot, I think 2 months ago or something. And it was like still crazy that you can drive on Latvian road without without putting arms on the wheel. But then Tesla started beeping. No, you should keep arms on the wheel because it's still not safe. Second is video and audio technologies, which are developing in oh my God, very fast. So nowadays, only you can be different only with content. Everybody can buy equipment and everybody can be its own TV channel if you want. Now competition is only on content, not on equipment. And the third thing is, like internet is now it's everywhere. I mean, you can even see the very rural areas, and there is quite high speed internet. So I think everybody could be connected, even if you not live in New York and probably in New York the connection could be even bad than in some places, I don't know, in Africa even. So I think these three trends are really important today because it could really change the way we are living. So we don't, and I heard that like an idea that for those people who are born, I mean, in this year, when they will be 18, they probably will not gonna have driving license because they don't gonna have to need it. And this is what is amazing for me. And but it's not a joke. I even truly thinking about how and when I can rebuild my garage to the party room, because probably, I hope so, in 5 years I will not gonna need my personal car, but I can just type in an app and car arrives and I can go whenever I want. So this is what I'm excited for.
Very good. Thank you, Janis. Jean, how about you? What are you seeing as trends, and also which one maybe you are positively excited about?
I totally agree with Janis about the trends, but I think we are underestimating the thing that's going on right now. I mean the switch to remote. And it's not kind of, the technology was always there. I'm working remote for 5 years already. So I work for several companies. I work from home, from office, from co-working. So I do not have a place where I work. So this was my behavior for 5 years. And I was trying to switch many of my friends and acquaintances to kind of get them familiar with the concept that you are free to work when you want, where you want, because the technology is there. But they are not that easily persuadable, you know. No, I better go to work, I better go to there, or my boss isn't allowing that. And this pandemic, actually, I think it's a good thing from that particular perspective, because it showed that we can do things remotely, easily. There is no problem. Of course, we should socialize. Of course, we will meet. But I think this impact of going remotely, the whole planet going like remotely, is really underestimated, because all the markets will be hit by that. I mean, food markets, restaurants, everything else, delivery market, real estate market, everything will be affected by the concept that's going on right now. So I believe that those like 5% that were working remotely will convert to 50% that will be working remotely in the next 5 years. And that will release a kind of huge amount of time and money from people to do things they really like, not to kind of work 9 to 5. I think this is the potential we have right now that is underestimated. And the technology right now actually allow us to do that easily. I mean, remote work and basically do whatever, like Janis said, open my own channel or do my own like video courses or start blogging or whatever it's there. So we'll have time because the commute will disappear, etc., etc. So I think this is the biggest trend we are underestimating right now, this remote work trend.
Yes, that's true. That has emerged now very as a big trend indeed.
If I can add, I cannot keep silent. I think that I agree with everything that both gentlemen said, but I also think that if we talk not only about the technology itself, but how it's impacting environment, it's also I think very important to acknowledge what Janis already mentioned before about how the technology is changing our ways of working, right? Because with all of these automation and machine learning things in the future, well, already right now there is many robots on factories, and there is a lot of other like algorithms that replace something that people were previously doing. So I think that from that perspective, but we also need to acknowledge that this speed of the innovation and creating new value is very high, and it's also going to change the way how we actually work as such. So for example, accountants, for example, I believe that accountant as a profession is going to like emerge very much in next like 20 years, because like simple collecting data and adding in the right field is not going to be needed to do by the human being. What we will need is yes, so somebody who can either give some more information to the algorithms, check errors, or maybe do something completely different that is adding like more human perspective into that process. And I think that that's also how the world is very much going to change in the next years.
Thank you, Zane. I will also ask Zeev to comment on what do you think are the future trends? Most have already been mentioned. Is there anything you can add or elaborate?
Yes. Yeah, I can add from the terms of advertisements where this industry is heading. So basically, as I mentioned already, so that the main idea of any advertisement today is to target the right person with the right advertisement. So basically, the advertising will continue to be developed in all the fields that we are using today. The most interesting where we're going now today is in the broadcasting part, to the streaming, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and all of these channels at some point or someday they will start to put advertising inside. Either it will be like we have today in TVs, in TV channels, in our old TVs, in the beginning or in the end, or if it will go even further. For example, if you're watching a movie, you saw some beautiful thing and you really want to buy it, you just pause the broadcast, you click or choose the item, and you will have already the location, where, how much, and how to buy it. That's where they're going. And the same is going on also with games. And games, it will be much more faster, it's much more easier. The most easiest example is if you're playing the football, FIFA.
Looks like technology is letting us down in terms of connection. Yeah, well, I guess Zeev, we can't hear you.
Yes, I'm back. Yes.
Okay, you're back. Okay.
Yeah, so basically I was talking about the gaming, for example, in football, the easiest example. So you have the banners on the football field and the advertisement. If you played PlayStation or Xbox, you saw already there that you have some advertisement in terms of they advertise their own games, but in the future it could be special advertising for the person who is playing. That's the yes.
Yeah, I would like to add to Zeev that in my previous work at La Telecom, they have their internet company and also a TV company. They're providing TV channels and creating their own content. And 10 years ago in La Telecom interactive TV, like interactive TV box, 10 years ago, you already can order pizza during the football game. So it's already on. Of course, it was like very messy and very not UX friendly, but it already was that you can order pizza, and then the money for pizza is going to your monthly fee of your TV when you're paying your cable. So it's already idea already was there. Of course, that idea wasn't very technically good, so people don't use it as much. It was easier to call on the phone, but it's already was there when there is advertising of pizza, and you just press the button and you order pizza to your home, because TV knows where your home address, and TV have your they can give you a bill afterwards. So it's already happening, and I think it will happen as you said, even more and more.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will increase, and even in podcasts now, everybody's moving also there. It will continue this trend again. Either, as I said already, either you just accept it that you have these advertisements and you block them in your mind, or you just don't use the technology. So it's like a two-way side. Okay, so I'm so stop here.
Thank you. And now I have the important question mostly at the end. I ask this in every discussion on career of the future. It is about the careers. How the trends you are seeing now, the ones you've mentioned and also the ones you see in your companies, how are they changing? What will be demanded by tech industry in 5 years? Like what kind of jobs will be more popular, and what kind of skills you think are going to be important in the future, given the trends we see now? John, how about you starting on this one?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. That's the question is super relevant to what I'm doing right now, because I'm building like an educational technology startup. But the thing is that I see now, and it's my advice to my kids as well, and to everyone that's planning their career, is to focus more on soft skills and less on hard skills. Because hard skills are perishable. So they kind of, the languages, programming languages change, design techniques change, platforms change, and you need to really learn them all the time. But focus on soft skills, because soft skills are always will be there. They are not perishable. And if you focus on kind of mastering your soft skills, I think you are super competitive in any market, in any point of time, and whatever the world will bring to us, whatever the technology will bring to us, you'll be able to adapt. You'll be able to basically fit in and bring value. All the hard skills can be learned. It's not a problem, and there are so many ways of doing that. But we are really underestimating the soft skills. All this like layer, cluster of skills that we think are okay. Public speaking. I'm not a public speaker, so why the hell should I know how to public? But that's a skill that will help you throughout your career, not maybe on the stage, but even on your interview, or like basically motivating your team or whatever is there. So this is the huge layer that's underserved and underestimated. I think we should focus there.
Yeah, if I may continue, I think I very much agree with what was said, because, and I think that in IT and any other field, these soft skills and future-looking skills like emotional intelligence, critical thinking, leadership, communication, And all of these are going to be very much more important and relevant. And these are the skills which you cannot just learn, like go to some emotional intelligence faculty and then you have bachelor for the year, for the whole life, right? So this is something that you need to learn every day and that you need to practice. And that's going to be super more relevant than it has been in past, and also in IT, but also not in IT roles, as I said, that the machines can automate everything that is like straightforward and you can describe it in a sequence. But the emotional intelligence and ability to actually interact, critically think, decide, try, risk, be ready to change. So that's what machines can't right now do. And therefore, I think that that's one of the like really big clusters that needs to be paid attention to. On the more on the technical side roles, I think that traditional ones which we have is going to stay, but then there's also a lot of news that's going to come, but which I cannot even mention right now. For example, we had like 3 years ago in Accenture, so there is this RPA, so process automation services. So it was something new, and only a couple of people tried because it seemed interesting, and now we have 100 people in that area. And I couldn't comment 5 years back that this is something that's going to happen, right? So we need to keep, so a lot of things traditionals will stay, a lot of new will come, which I cannot mention, but for everyone, super focused on the future, and soft skills should be in place.
Zana, I actually have additional follow-up question for you specifically. Like, do you think in future, there has been historically, unfortunately, quite a gap in the tech world, that it's mostly male dominated, and that there is not enough. And then if you are now all talking about how important the soft skills are, so maybe are you seeing more women actually entering the tech field and being successful? Tell me about that.
Yes. So I've actually came from, my background is all about mathematics. I studied IT in the university, and at that point of time, already in the studies, we had 20% of women and 80% of men. So that's the industry as such is like in the roots already man dominated. But I think that's not because women are not able to do. It's just not so fashionable for women in IT, and I think that very much relates to how we raise our kids. So to girls, we say you need to create a good food. For gents, you say you need to solve problems, right? So that's I think it's because of our social background or social environment. Many women doesn't consider IT as a field, but that's significantly changing. Maybe not at that speed as we would wish to see. But we have also in Accenture done a lot of activities to encourage ladies to join, and one of the most successful, I think, is She Goes Tech. You might have heard. So that's not only for the students, but for any lady who is willing to change her field to IT. So she can come, she can learn the basics and then try. And it has been like really super successful. There has been so much applications, and so many women actually started working, and I think that's good. I embrace it. I think that IT isn't a man's world. IT is a diverse world, and I think that what is also very important, that for everyone, for any company in IT, it should be also one of the top priorities how to get more diverse people in, because when we create a product, we need to look not only from the 25 to 35 single Latvian man perspective, what he believes that the product is needed, but we need diverse team, diverse people who shares different perspectives. And I think that that's going to be one of the focuses for the future. I see that changing, maybe not so fast, but I hope that with a lot of actions and a lot of communications, it's going to change. And basically the only, I think, issue is that it's not considered right now as fashionable. Yet, as I've explained today, I think that the future lays in the technology, and there is so many ways how women can any sort of woman can benefit and be happy and do what they like in IT.
Thank you. Well, that's a very valuable perspective. Now, on this question of careers of the future, sort of what sort of careers you imagine, what sort of skills you imagine are becoming more important. Zeev, I would ask you to comment on this.
Yeah. Basically, the skills that I'm seeing today, and I'm developing myself, and I see my employee, and I'm making my employees to learn, is basically to be independent, working as a self-sustained unit, especially with the remote situation that we have today. What I mean by that is that, for example, if in the beginning, in my company, an account manager was talking only to the clients. So today I want that an account manager, for example, will be responsible for accounting, for his clients' accounting, for his clients, the marketing part, and he will have the whole array of tools. Plus, but to achieve this, of course, he will need to have all the SaaS solutions that companies today provide, and that he will become more and more independent in his work. That's basically the remote part. So and the second part is discipline, which is very important for today, when you today go into the job force, especially in the remotely. Yes, Jan, I agree with you that it's freedom, it's good. You have no commute anymore, and you have more time for yourself. But on the other hand, the farther your employees are from you, it's more hard, tougher it's to manage them, and to see their deadlines, and they meet the deadlines, or do the task as you want. That's why one of the skills is for the managers is how to give the task correctly to the employees, and the employees to perform the task on time and with self-discipline. That's basically.
Thank you. And I will ask Janis also, well, how would you comment on the careers of the future?
Yeah, I think the most important soft skill is not just to talk, but also to listen. And if you are listening very carefully, what your boss is saying to you, so you can do it. And if you are telling very clearly what you want to do, or what kind of problems you have, so there could be that you can fix it. So I think listening and talking is talking clearly is most important skill, soft skills for the future, not only in tech companies, in every company. Because before tech, an example, I was working for a media company. Before media, I was working in a universities or in a higher education field. And believe me, I'm not a professional in higher education. I'm not a professional in media, and I'm even not a professional in tech now. But I can, how to say, if I'm listening carefully and if I'm talk clearly, then you can achieve your goals, I think.
Well, I guess on this note about the importance of listening and talking, I think we will actually conclude today's panel. And thank you to all the panelists. I mean, it's been valuable perspectives. Thank you for sharing your time and your viewpoint. And we will make this recording available to students. And also to the students who are present, I remind you that later today is another panel on HR, personalvadība, and an important event, the final event on the 26th of November is actual meeting the companies who have vacancies and internship opportunities. So if you haven't signed up for that, look at the Facebook page, RISEBA Karjeras dienas, or in any other way, find the email. And I will also be sending out this recording. So in that case, you will be able to see the links. So thank you the panel for today's discussion, and thank you very much. And yes, it's been great listening to your perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Have a
having
great
us.
day.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.